Hey guys, today we'd like to walk you through how to use the design guide to customize your system and also to understand what you can do within the bott system. Follow along with the screen and let's check it out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the Knowledge Hub and we're going to go to Design Guides. Once you're on the Design Guide page, you are going to see two different types of design guides. The one on the left here is for the van design guide, and the one on the right is for the trailer design guide. Now, the trailer design guide could also be used in a box truck, a workshop environment, a shipping container. Essentially, it can be used in any flat wall situation. So we're going to start with the van design guides. It's going to walk you through and show you everything you need to know about the system. So if we look at the system here, you essentially have four different sections of the system. You have the partition or the bulkhead up front, and then on the left side or the driver's side, you're going to have a rear frame and you're going to have a front frame. And then on the passenger side or the right side, you're going to have a single module, which will usually be two frames. And the steps are pretty simple. In the van environment, you're going to select your actual make and model, wheelbase, and roof height of your van. So that's step one over here. You're going to download that layout, and that will show you the frame combination for the driver's side rear, driver's side front, the bulkhead, and then the passenger side rear. Once you know the frame combinations, that's the one variable that you cannot change because it is specific to your unique vehicle, make, model, wheelbase, and roof height. So once you know the frame layout, then you can determine, using this guide, what is going to go inside the frames. And then you can proceed to decide what you want to put inside of those frames. Very important is going to be the height of all the different system components. We call it the functional height or the operational height. There's going to be two key footprints within the system, either an M footprint or an L footprint. This corresponds to the footprint of a sustainer. We have M footprint sustainers and L footprint sustainers. We'll come back to that later. The next thing you need to know is the height allocation for each item you're putting within a frame. If you look at the front of the frames, there is holes every 1 inch in height. And what we've done for you is we've gone through and we've figured out how many holes does each item consume, whether that be a sustainer, a drawer, the wire basket, could be a shelf, etc. The other thing you need to take into consideration in a van, not so much in a workshop or a flat wall solution, but in a van is the depth. Some vans have tapered sides, you have wheel wells, and so you do want to keep in mind where the depth is different or shallower. We have called out on all the frame maps where your wheel well is within your particular van. So as we go down, if you look here, we see an icon that says M with a yellow box around it. So that indicates these are M footprint boxes. This particular case, which is an M112, this is going to take up 5 holes vertically. So depending on whether you have a low roof fan, a medium roof, or a high roof, you would want to look at your frame map and see how many holes do you have to work with. So if we go to a very large box like the M437 here, you can see that we need 18 holes. And over here, just more options. The difference between the left and the right here, these are with the runner kit, which you're generally going to need, whereas these are sustainers without the runner kit. As we scroll down here, we're going to see just different types of sustainers. So these are different types of organizers. These are divider kits that can go in the organizers. Of course, we have the cart, which can also be docked within the racking. As we look at the next page here, we have our bott boxes, a very popular item. We have them in 2 widths, so we have a narrow and a wide. So this one's about 5 inches wide, this one's around 10 inches wide, and these are meant to sit on a shelf. So when you're using these, you'll notice that we do need to leave a small gap above. This is both for your hand to reach in and access what's inside, but it's also so that you can lift the box up and remove it if you need to. Now, you also have the option of leaving this front window off so that you can access the contents a little bit easier. We do have a labeling field, which you can see here. There's also a little integrated handle as well. As we look at this table, what we've tried to do here is we have tried to demonstrate to you what different combinations of the wide boxes and the narrow boxes will fit on the different length shelves. As we look at some of the drawer accessories, we have 2 different types of drawers. We have a wire basket, which is good for things like plumbing fittings or large bulky items, could be hoses, extension cords, and we also have storage drawers. We have both of these in the M and the L footprint. We also have a lot of different options for securing things to the frame itself. This first thing here we call an anchor point. 2 screws attach these to the frame, and these are meant to accept the lashing strap. You can place these anywhere on the front of the frames. We also have these intermediate rails. These can be positioned within the frame as well to allow you to use the lashing straps. Next, we have the perfo panels. So the perfo panels are also a good option if you want to hang things within the frame. So we have a 16.5 inch wide width here. We also have a 20 7/8, which would be the L footprint. And then we have a super wide one at 34 inches, which is going to fit inside of a 37 inch frame. And we also have them in different depths for the M footprint. So we have a shallow one at 2 inches deep, and then we have the deeper one at 5 1/4. You can hang all kinds of things on the perfo panels. And then here's just an assortment of different types of hooks. We've got the glove box holder, hose holders, cable hooks, of course, and we're going to be adding a lot more perfo items as well in the coming months. Now, shelves are also a good option. Shelves, you can get really wide shelves. One thing we haven't discussed yet is when you're looking at your frame map, in almost all cases, you're going to have the 42-inch frame at the rear, so back by the rear door. Now, you can leave that as a 42-inch frame and put shelves across there, or you can actually subdivide the frame. Using frames in a flat wall environment, you want to use as wide of frames as possible for it to be the most economical. This here is a 42-inch frame, and we have split this with 2 uprights here, so that gives me an M footprint on the left and an M footprint on the right. I could also have installed just 1 upright, and then that would give me an L footprint here and an M footprint over here. So here you can see the different sizes of shelves that we have and also the different depths of shelves. So in most cases, you're going to want to use the 13.25-inch shelf, but where you have to, for example, in front of a wheel well, you might only be able to use the 5 3/8-inch deep shelf. Generally speaking, we recommend that you're going to need at least 9 holes minimum for a shelf. So that would be if you're going to use the bott boxes. Of course, you can leave more space if you want to put taller items on the shelf as well. One other product that is relatively new to us is a long item top tray. So we have configurations for all the high roof vans, and so what you would do is you would go to the landing page called long item top tray, and on that page you would select your make, model, wheelbase again, and then it would give you the corresponding configuration that would work in your vehicle. This is great for storing things like conduit, PVC, anything that's long. You could stick a level in there. We also see here the cab organizer. So again, universal item. If you have a bench seat in your van, this can sit in the cab itself. Next, we have cable reel shelves. So we have the cable reel shelf also in the M and the L footprint. For this one, you're going to need 16 holes of height. And this is great for holding spools of wire. We also have the power tool shelf here. So this is a universal holder. It's meant to be installed at an angle. And this allows you to put other manufacturers' cases in here. For example, a pack-out box or a Bosch L box. You'll also see here the partitions. So we have the partition available in 3 different orientations. You can do all perfo panels. You can do perfo panels and shelves, or you can do all shelves. At the moment, we currently have the Smart Stow partition available for Ford Transit, the Mercedes Sprinter, and the Ram ProMaster in the medium and high roof vans. One thing we should quickly look at is an example of a frame map. So I'm going to go back here, the design guide page, and we're going to scroll down, and here you can see frame maps for the medium and high roof Ford Transits. You can see the frame map for the Sprinter standard and high roof models, and then we also have frame maps for the several different wheelbases, but also the medium and high roof Ram ProMaster. So let's open the Ram ProMaster one here. And this is what you're going to see when you open a frame map. So if we look up here, we're going to see the blue lines are the frame dividers. We've got the red is the functional area. The green is the hole allocation. And then we also have a call out for our wheel well. You can see here, it tells me at the top that there are 57 holes in total on this frame. In this instance, we have on the driver's side, we have 3 frames total. So we have the rear module here, which consists of 2 frames, the 41 5/8-inch frame, also the 19 5/8-inch frame. So that's the outer dimensions. And then the interior dimensions are going to be 38.5 and 16.5. In the front module, we have a 37.25-inch frame, and the interior dimension on that will be 34 1/8-inch. So now we should have all the information we need to start planning out what we want to put here. So where you see the blue dotted lines, this is where I can put a vertical upright. And with the vertical upright, as mentioned earlier, now we can subdivide these wider frames. So if I do that with the 42-inch frame, as it says over here, that is going to give us 2 dividers to make 2 M sections, or I can add 1 divider to create an L and an M section. So if you primarily plan on using M footprint items, and you have a lot of M footprint Systainers especially, you're going to want to go with a 37-inch frame. So when you take a 37-inch frame, which is this frame here, and divide it with the upright, you're going to get 2 M footprint columns. As we scroll down, we're going to now see the passenger side. So on the passenger side, we just have 2 frames. We have a 19-inch frame and a 42-inch frame. Feel free to use a pencil, pen, and actually draw out the space and label it. But if you want to send it to us via email as a scan or take a photo, that would help our internal design team understand what you want, and then we can build a custom order. So in general, that's how you use the van design guide. The trailer design guide is essentially the same process, but it's even easier because in a flat wall environment, you have really no restrictions other than the height and the length of your wall. You've got other options like adding full height, full coverage perfo panels on the ends of the frames. There's a few different possibilities, but in general, the procedure is the same. And so you can really choose the frames that you want. As a general rule of thumb, you're going to want to stick with the wider frames. It's going to be more economical, and then you'll want to split those frames from there. In a flat wall environment, you can also add the top shelf. So you have a left bracket here, and you also have a right bracket, and this allows you to put the same size shelf that fits down inside the frame. So in this case, I think this is a 42-inch shelf. Adds a lot of additional storage on top of the frame. You can put top shelves on every single frame inside of a flat wall system. So that's one difference in the trailer design guide. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our design team, and then we can build a custom order off of that. Visit us at bottsmartvan.com, click on the Knowledge Hub, and go to Design Guides to give it a shot yourself. Thank you.